A cop who watched, who allowed a human being to drown in front of him, and then would not allow anyone to help the individual. Let's put up this picture. Very sad story. Now the lawsuit. Lawsuit claims Tennessee cops watched a man drown for 13 minutes. Heartbroken mother, Kimberly Williams-Clabo, has now filed a $4 million lawsuit against Tennessee police officers, allegedly, who stood by watching her son drown for nearly 13 minutes. Now, the story gets even more gruesome. On July 25th of last year, Mika Wheeler Clabo found himself in the Tennessee River after appearing to flee from a Knoxville police officer or officers, according to dailymail.com. The suit alleges Clabo fell in the river at 10:14 a.m., barefoot, with only a t-shirt and underwear on. Police arrived shortly after at 10:22 a.m. A nearby restaurant employee allegedly offered a 20-foot-long tow strap to throw out to the drowning young man. To the officers as he drowned merely a few feet away from the riverbank, if that, the same man offered to get keys to a storage area that held a flotation device or flotation devices, or even get a small boat, anything. They were trying to provide assistance. Seeing how close he was to the riverbank and familiar with the water depth and current, another employee told officers, "I can reach him. I can get him." These men and others were warned off by the police officers. They were told not to provide life-saving assistance. One police officer repeatedly told them, "He'll drown you too," end quote. Kimberly is now suing officials over alleged civil rights violations and wrongful death, requesting a jury trial at the United States District Court of the Eastern District of Tennessee. Kimberly describes her son as a hardworking, recovering opioid and heroin addict who lost everything after turning back to drugs in the days before he died. Knoxville police are firing back. In a statement released on Twitter, the department says, and I quote, "While Mika Clabo's death was undoubtedly tragic, the KPD officers involved did not respond inappropriately, and the city will vigorously defend this lawsuit. The officers immediately called for assistance from additional specialized resources, and any suggestion that they prevented reasonable or safe attempts to rescue is not supported by the facts." Now, you see what they did in the statement. They said any allegation, basically, that our officers stopped reasonable, appropriate attempts to save him. Officers do not have a duty to protect, according to the United States Supreme Court. I know that sounds insane and ironic, but that is the ruling of the Supreme Court. They do not have a duty to protect by way of the Constitution. They would like, however, for us to treat them like heroes. They want to be known as men and women of valor. Act like it. This was a simple call. If you don't have the courage to save a human life, why would you stop someone else who does have the courage to do so? We've been here before. Hell, we got mass shootings where children are being shot and killed, and mothers had to go past the barricade of cops inside of the school and get children out themselves. If you're not a hero, don't parade as one. Don't show up making people think that you're about to save somebody when you know good and damn well you won't. Let's put it up full mass. Involved officers include William Romani, Joseph Martina, Brandon Brewer, and Timothy Campbell. Photos of the officers are still unavailable until this day. But we got this guy. This is the chief of police, Paul Noel. He was hired, ironically, to clean up the department, which has a hell of a history of police misconduct. And as soon as he gets an opportunity to actually exert leadership, he decides to be a coward like the last police chief. This is a department we covered earlier this year for the death of Lisa Edwards in back of a police vehicle. Involved officers then were Adam Brown, Timothy DeStasio, Sergeant Brandon Wardlaw, and Transportation Officer Danny Dugan. They are still yet to face any real consequences. So what do we have here? We have a repeat offender. I'm talking about the police department. No accountability, individuals' rights being violated, a lack of care, concern. You know, new training will not take a coward and make them a hero. New training will not take a bigot and make them righteous. You got to get a new cop. We keep talking reform, but the conversation should be more about replacement. We need a new recruitment model, a new standard, new police officers. All right, Sharon, thoughts here.
He ran, and these thugs in uniform, judge and jury, gave him the death penalty.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. It really is. Serve and protect. I want it wiped off the police vehicles. It's a lie. I don't want to see any more smiling police photos with their chins up. They need to lower them, keep their heads more humble appearing. It's just that simple. The quote was, "Relax and hang out there, dude." That's what they allegedly said. Had this been a dog, Dr. Richey, he'd be alive. The animal would, and be posing and the star of local news tickers.
Yep.
That's what we would be saying. Oh, who wants to adopt Fido? Had it been a dog.
So sad, but so true.